Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. My name is Kat, known as phamerina.planning here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today's video is a plan with me for the week of, what is this? The week of March 3rd to March 9th using this Sadie stickers butterfly foiled in light gold. I was immediately drawn to this kit because butterfly. um, I'm in my I would call it my butterfly era, but I'm always in my butterfly era. So is it really an era if you're always in it? But butterflies are my absolute favorite motif. I have a tattoo of a butterfly on my wrist. Um, and this kit's colors were absolutely gorgeous. Purple and yellow are just a quintessential spring collection to me. I just really enjoy having these colors, and this kit was advertised as a transition kit, and I completely 100% agree with that. Something about how light these are, like the lightness, this delicacy of this kit was perfect for transitioning out of like the kind of rough feeling of winter into spring. Butterflies are also a transformative animal, right? Caterpillar into the cocoon, and they emerge as a butterfly, that metamorphosis. So we are um, leaving the cocoon of winter, right? And moving into spring, even though spring technically doesn't start for like another 2 weeks. But I was ready to um, move away from winter kits. Don't get me wrong, I love winter kits, but I feel like winter kits fall into this rut of like blue, dark blue, light blue, like gray, white, dark colors. And I love dark colors, but I wanted, I was ready for change. I was ready for something different. So one of the things I really enjoyed about this collection were the use of like the frames in has a motif um throughout the collection. I immediately knew when I got pieces, like I saw the decorative kit, I looked through it and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get these collages, I believe that's what the page is called. Um, is it collages or I forget what it's called specifically. But it's the pages with like the foil collage like laid on top already. It's a pre-foiled page, is what I'm saying. And I knew immediately I was going to use that in my sidebar. I think with how delicate this kit was, I wanted to keep it um light. I wanted to keep the foil um not to a minimum because I don't really know if I can do that. Um but to rein it back a little bit, not to like throw it all over the page, also to use much more dainty pieces, smaller elements. And to keep in line with that, I kept my date cover a little simpler, um, using like the actual date covers in the kit, along with putting a little bit of deco up there. I did think about maybe finding a garland or something, um, but like I said, pulled it back a little bit. It was like, we're just going to throw some florals up here, a little bit of foil, sprinkle some butterflies here and there, and just leave it at that. Um, because I know sometimes I can tend to overwork things. That might not be every like maybe that's just my opinion of what I do, but I know sometimes I feel like I overwork things. I try too hard, um, and add more and add more and add more and add more. So with I think this might be maybe it's speculation on my part, but I think hopefully let me just I guess go back. So with a lot of the foil samplers, when we started out with foil samplers back in like I want to say it was like maybe Q1 or Q2, late Q1, Q2 of 2024 is when they started really emerging, I think. Um they kind of were formatted the same way. You had two washi length foils, then header sized foils, um, and then like decorative elements that already existed inside either the full boxes. Mostly the full boxes. I think those were what were foiled at the time. It was really weird because I feel like decorative, like foil samplers, have been around forever, but I don't think they were. Um, and I find that format kind of limiting, um, because a lot of us probably already have foiled washi, foiled headers. I personally don't even use headers very often. Like maybe I'll use one or two sets of headers. Kind of depends on my mood when I'm um doing the base, but a majority of time I might just use like one set of headers. So to have the foil headers, um, it really doesn't like do anything for me. So I was trying to sprinkle those around in throughout the spread, just not as like actual headers. Although I can't remember if I actually used one as a header or not. We're gonna find out. It's been a while since I've done this spread because CapCut kind of did some silly stuff, so I was unable to do um voiceovers for a little while. So I've just been continuing to do spreads, and I was like, I don't remember exactly what I did when for which spread. So um I did not actually buy any of the alcohol inks for this spread, for this collection. I went into my stash and pulled out the ones from JK Creates Co. That's the purple and the yellow one, I think. And then I made use of the leftovers from Starlight Paper's Snowfall kit. Like it was a gorgeous green kit. I love that kit. Gorgeous green winter kit. Um, but not but and and the watercolors were yellow and green. So typically when I use my watercolor or alcohol inks swatches, whatever we want to call them, I usually have about like a third of the sheet left. So it was nice to be able to pull that in to this spread. So that's that. And I am like really vibing with like the center area. Like when I say center, I mean like if you put the two pages side by side. I've been really like into bringing elements over into those center areas. Um, Usually I decorate it with deco at the end of when I finish it. It's like the last thing I do before I like close this off. Well, not the last thing. The last thing I usually do is write everything in, but it's like the thing I do before that. Um, but I've been really enjoying bringing elements into the center areas when I'm doing the base, because like I don't stick to the boundaries of the columns anymore. So like why not just go ahead and go into the middle of the pages, right? So that's how I've been handling, like that's just one thing I've really been enjoying to like doing a lot of. And then since I had those boundary breaking moments, I've been ensuring that I kind of keep some boxes in the columns just to balance it out. Especially if like I run out of like the floral boxes, because I typically like to do tilted boxes with my floral boxes. So once I run out of those, I'm like, I don't really like to tilt non-floral boxes with non-floral boxes. It just becomes really busy in my head. So um that's pretty much my base. I think we're gonna slide into the day by day. Yes, we are gonna slide into my day by day. Why didn't I open this book while I was talking? So, Monday. We start with a coffee Monday. Um, I am in the middle of a rewatch of Card Captor Sakura, the 90s anime, and it's a comfort show. I really enjoy that show, and I think I don't know how many times I've seen it. I want to say I've seen it at least 4 times now. And don't call me a snob, but I prefer to listen to media in the language it was originally, or like where the world is set. So while I could watch a dub, I don't really like watching dubs. Um especially if they're set in Japan. Like, I prefer to listen to the original language, but I've seen Cardcaptor Sakura so many times now, I don't really need to watch it. I kind of know when I need to pay attention now, so I watch that, and I kind of like multitask and do other things on the side. But since I've seen it so many times now, I know what happens. I do. It's just a feel good show. Um, I did a planning sesh. Finished that night with a planning sesh on Tuesday. We start with a Duncan run. Any of the solidly black scripts with the flourishes at the end are from Blissful Jade Designs. They're some of them are customs, some of them are full time in her shop. Um, I it took me a while, but I understand why people do custom scripts now, because it's like, if it's something I write a lot, it's cohesive. It looks the same. It looks great. I like it. I like how like uniform it makes everything look. I get it now. Um, so we had a Dunkin' run that morning. I folded some laundry. Laundry is like my least. It is my least favorite chore. It's never ending. I literally just put away my laundry that I folded 2 days ago. um, I hate doing it that much. I got some Happy Mail that night. It was Happy Mail from White Deer Stationery and the Pretty Pink Co. I thought it was appropriate to use like the stamps to indicate Happy Mail, right? Isn't that, it's cute, right? And there's me kind of sprinkle those foiled headers throughout just because I have them. I'm not really sure where else I would use them, to be very honest with you. And then since I did these moment in the middle on the right side of the spread, I figured I might as well start working on it on this left side so I don't forget to do it, because the balance is, it's important. So I was like, while I'm thinking about it, let's work on it. Let's fix the middle now so we don't forget to. On Wednesday, there was flooding on 76. 76 is one of the major roads into Philadelphia. Why was there flooding? It must have rained a lot. I don't have anything that says rain on my notes. Um, but that's interesting. We had flooding on 76. That's not unusual. 76 floods a lot. We're right next to the Schuylkill River, so like that's not unusual. It's just weird that I mean, it was raining a lot in March. I do remember that. I had a planning sesh, and during the day I was like, I've actually been on a K-pop binge now. I've been consuming a lot of K-pop recently. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just like, normally I go through cycles with music. So I went through a K-pop binge that day. On Thursday, Thursday, nothing really exciting happened at work or before work, or before the evening, because Bub, he likes to jump from one of the windowsills onto our couch. And that day he was like, Mama, jump with me. And I was like, no, bud, I'm too big. I can't fit up there. And he's like, Mommy, are you too big? Are you too fat? And I was like, kid, I understand what you're saying. Like, you don't make the connection that fat has a negative connotation yet, but we can't go around calling people fat. Which is funny because he knows, like, he understands the concept of big, right? He understands I'm too big to fit in the windowsill. So I'm just like, where did you pick up fat from? Maybe it's just me, because I do self-deprecate, but not seriously. It's just I guess I'm just gotta be more careful with my words. So I got a custom script from Paper Trail Plans for, it's called Bum Moments, to highlight those. Sorry, we're behind now. We had pizza for dinner, and I read Fourth Wing, and slight spoiler warning, I guess. Maybe it's about the dragons and Violet and how she got her dragons. I got to that part and I was like, it's too late. I can't stay up to continue reading this. So I was like, gosh. Yeah, I got to that part that night. On Friday, we started the day with a Dunkin' run. A Lady Gaga had released Mayhem. I don't remember if it was that day, but that day I listened to it. She's making words up, dance, electro pop music. We're back, baby, back in the 2010s. We're back in the 2010s, Lady Gaga. I love it. I love it. It's an album that's been on repeat for me since then. We watched Hot Wheels Let's Race, and we had McDonald's for dinner, so we must have done both of those. We watched Hot Wheels while we had McDonald's for dinner. On Saturday, we got bagels from our local bagel place, and it was a really windy day. It clearly was not a very eventful day because those are the only two things I have written down to mark for that day. Um, we don't typically we have a fairly good diner nearby, so we must have been not wanting diner food for some reason because I already spoke about like the bagel specials before, so it wasn't that. Um, I am very curious as to why we decided to have bagels instead of um diner food, but maybe we were bored, wanted to change it up. Um, on Sunday, that was daylight savings endings. I never remember. It's the one where the clocks go forward. You spring forward. Casualty. Since this script is in black, I did when I pulled the whole thing back up. I wanted to like move it, but then I was like, nah, we're not going to worry about it. Some of the ink came off, but I understand what it means. I don't really need to know exactly what that says. I mean, I can figure it out. It says daylight saving starts. Oh, there we go. Daylight saving starts. I made breakfast that day. We went to the park, and then we had Wendy's for dinner. Dang. We had a lot of fast food this week. It's okay. Um, Sometimes the body just craves what it craves, right? Sometimes you just gotta have good old fast food. My thing is chicken nuggets, man. Sometimes you just gotta have it. And that was the week. This is the spread. Here are the kit leftovers, and that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you gave it a little like. I would love it if you joined my little community here by subscribing. Leave a comment with any of your thoughts down below, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye!